And I'll turn on the camera. All right, welcome everyone. For the record, it is 9/26/2024. We are getting close to October, and this is the Valor weekly training. Um, Today, our topic is about marketing, and I have a couple things prepared, but I want to hear from everyone here. And the easiest way to do this will probably throw it in the chat, but I have two things that we can talk about today. So, number one is I can walk through information about branding and how that can help you get more business, and the things that you look out for, and the easy things that you can do to fix some of the brands. Or number two, I can talk about LinkedIn marketing, how to change your LinkedIn profile to actually help you get business, how to reach out to um, prospective clients and things like that. So I can walk you through either one of those, but let's see. For everyone that's on here, put in the chat whether you just put the word brand or put LinkedIn. And whichever one we get the most, that's the one that we'll talk about today. So brand or LinkedIn. And there's a bunch of people jumping on right now, so I'll share this again. I have one for brand right now. So right now that's the winner. Um, for everyone that jumped on, today we're talking about marketing. I am uh and I gave everyone an option. I have two paths to go down. We have we can talk about branding and how that can help you get more business and things that you should look out for on that side and the things that you can fix. Or we can talk about how to use LinkedIn as a tool to get more business as well. Oh, you're gonna make it easy. So we got two for LinkedIn right now, but I was gonna give you guys a choice. So branding or LinkedIn marketing. Which one would you want to learn more about? And right now we have two for LinkedIn, which is be the direction that I go, unless anybody else has anything else to say. Oh, we got one more for brand. And we'll close the voting in 60 seconds. So at 4:05 Central Times, I will choose whichever direction. So we have two for branding, we have two for LinkedIn. We need a tiebreaker vote. So branding or LinkedIn marketing. Which one do you want to talk about? This is getting competitive. We have two for two. We need a tiebreaker vote. So which one do you want to learn more about? Branding or LinkedIn? Both of them will talk about how you can utilize it to help you generate business. But let's see, I have one more. 10 seconds. Oh, all right, we have branding for the win. All right, so the next time that I jump on, I will talk about LinkedIn. I will not forget all the people that put on that they wanted to learn more about LinkedIn and what that would look like. So let me jump into my presentation. I'll share my screen. And today we are going to be talking about branding. All right. So this is a presentation that we've done. You all haven't seen it, but we've done a lot in the past. And it is called the branding blind spot. So there's four things that we're going to be talking about today. Using the strategies outlined in this webinar, you can increase your lead generation, convert at a higher rate, get more referrals, and increase client retention. Now, that overall, most people don't associate that concept with a brand, and especially in the insurance space. And excuse me, there'll be a couple times that I get on my soapbox about this because branding is typically a big company concept. It's typically not taught at the lower levels, especially within the even more so in the insurance space, to independent agents like yourself, because branding is typically a very expensive proposition. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to bring some of those concepts down to a level that makes sense for us to be able to utilize that also doesn't break the bank. Because, like I said, if you go to a place that wants to actually marketing agency and they're actually going to teach you how to build a brand, I'm going to charge thousands and thousands of dollars to do that. Um, and that's not what we're going to be talking about today, and neither are we talking. I'm not selling something afterwards either, just so that everyone understands. This is going to be things that you can utilize, and that you can do on your own, or you can technically hire some as well, to fix this. But branding can help you do all of these things. Increase lead generation, convert at a higher rate, get more referrals, increase client retention when it's done the right way. Um, how many of you, raise of hands really quick, or put in the chat, how many of you have seen terrible brands? Let's see. Anybody, have you guys seen like just companies that you're like, oh, this is absolute, like this is a terrible brand. Like this looks bad, it doesn't feel right, all those different things. Okay, I can see I'm gonna have to push for some audience participation, but we'll get there. I have, in the years that I have been doing this, and in the insurance space for the past 15 years, especially in the insurance space, I have seen some terrible, terrible, terrible brands. I am always shocked at sometimes how places even get and do business sometimes with the terrible brands that they have. I digress. Um, what we're going to talk about is the idea that agents don't realize how much money they leave on the table by not leveraging a clean and cohesive digital presence, which very simply, I mean, I know we're talking about digital presence, branding, that's all it is. Branding is your presence wherever it is, whether it's digital, whether it be on paper. That is what branding is all about. And so we're going to talk about the tale of two agents. So before we jump into them, the setup attended event had a one at a one-to-one face-to-face conversation with the cold prospect lasted less than 15 minutes. So the target has a need, expressed interest, and said they will follow up. Email and phone number address was collected. So both of these agents had this face-to-face meeting. It was 15 minutes. It was a short conversation. It wasn't even a meeting. Excuse me. This is something they met out in the open. And the target expressed that they needed what they wanted, and they got an email and a phone number. And this is what we're going to talk about what this looks like. So, advisor one, Joe over here, has great personality, not experienced, nice business card, great website, cohesive social on Facebook and LinkedIn, has Google My Business reviews, has about 20 reviews on there, has welcome SMS, email, video message automation sequence. So like when they put them in their CRM, there's stuff that was sent out to them. That's Joe. And then we have Sam over here. So great personal experience, personality, has been in the business for a long time, very experienced, has a good business card, has no website though, only has a personal Facebook page. There's no Google, there's no reviews, and he just sent in a welcome email, and thank you for the time. Now, this one I want as many people as possible to participate. If you were a client, which person would you do business with? Joe or Sam? Which one would you do business with, Joe or Sam? I want everyone to put down their answers. Would you work with the less experienced, but but you can find them online and they look like a real business? And I know I'm kind of setting this up a little bit. I'm getting some Joes now. I got three Joes, or the person that has more experience, but you can't find anything about them online. You don't really know what they're doing. You don't know what anybody says about them. Yes, everyone's saying Joe. I would agree 100%. And I know this is going to the extreme a little bit, to illustrate the point. But the idea being that digital presence, being able to find someone online and see more about them is extremely important in this day and age. Um, I think You got the exact number, but it's 67%, I think is what it is. 67% of all consumers do some form of research before they purchase from anybody. And that research could be as little as, looking at a website or finding looking at a Google review or something like that. So that is how important this stuff is. So we've all agreed Joe is the guy that they would do business with. So understanding the average client research process, and I've kind of already talked about it a little bit with the statistic, is they typically do three things. Yeah. First, they're Googling you on their phone. So by Googling, all I mean is that they're going to go do a Google search and type in either your name or your business name. Secondly, from Google, they're going to go visit a website. The average person spends 30 seconds on a website. The main function of a website, and I know I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, is to show that you are real and that you are in business. And from that standpoint, um, like I said, I know I'm giving some tips and stuff like that I'm going to share later, but having a website, even if it's a bad website, is better than having no website. Just so that you know that. And then next is they're going to also look through your socials. So they're going to find your Facebook or your LinkedIn or some type of profile and see what you're about. So, like I said, if they find your personal profile and it's filled with all sorts of craziness and nothing about your brand or company, then they're going to make a decision based on the research they did to either put you on the short list or not. So where does the story end between Joe and Sam? So who's more likely to get an appointment and why? Well, I think, butchered how to spell likely. How would Joe or Sam know that they didn't get the business? And that's the question that I want to ask. Is we call this the business. You never knew you lost. Because if you're Sam in this case, and you talk with the prospect and they try to do research and they can't find you, or they do research and they see things that are incongruent, that don't feel right. Like they go to your Facebook page and then they go to your website and like the colors don't match and things like that. Like you'll never know that you lost that person, but that's the reason why you lost them because something didn't feel right. As you know, in sales, people buy emotionally and then they back that up logically. Most people do not buy logically and then back that up with their emotions. They buy emotionally and back that up logically. So because of that, they may never be able to, like if you did a survey to those people and ask, hey, why did you never move forward? They may never actually be able to tell you why. Like they're not going to identify, oh, something didn't feel right. They're just going to say, well, I found a better option, or I was looking at something else, or some that I know, popped up and was able to help me. So things like that. But that's why digital presence and branding is so important. So, some takeaways from this. Number one, your prospects are going to research you. And I say that more with the definitive. It is getting more and more the case. And I know there's still a 1/3 chance that most people aren't going to do any form of research based on that statistic, but 67% of everyone that buys anything is going to do some form of research. Number two is you do have competition. So there are, there are tons of there's tons of agents, there's tons of people that are looking for stuff all the time. So you do have competition, understand that. And if you don't look good online, the prospects are choosing someone else and you are losing revenue. Now, I'm not going to make this sound so dire. I know the vast majority of, so I'm going to take one step back, the vast majority of people in the insurance space, they get their business from relationships or referrals or things like that. That helps tremendously. But um, even so, those people that you know, if you have any competition and you don't have that good of a relationship with them, or they're just going to do it because they know you, um, if they find someone else that looks good, makes them feel the right way, especially from an online presence, they're going to go with that person. So the next two things we're going to talk about is tips and takeaways. So things that you can do to prevent you from losing the business you didn't know you lost. And number two is we'll talk about some resources that you can use as well. Okay. Number one, if you didn't already get this, kind of obvious at this point, but is you have to have a website. Having a website matters. I am not going to do a survey or anything like that on whether you have a website or not, but get one. And like I said, I'll talk about some resources, but it's super basic. Like, I don't care if you have a Wix website or you go to GoDaddy and you do something like that, especially if this is something you're doing on your own and you have a super, super low budget. There's very, very cheap ways to build very simple websites. You can also look up tools. I should have had some prepared for today, but there's AI tools that can help build websites as well. Like, you give it some prompts and it would pull out a website. But having a website matters. Here's what you need for this: is number one, a clear and professional design site uh, that build whatever that says, but it does not look old basically. So make it look professional. Like, if you look at it, be like, okay, this illustrates what my business is about. Copy, so copyright, so words that is well written and professional. So, like I had on the likely thing, try to get rid of grammatical errors and things like that. Um, an optimized homepage, just meaning when they get to that page, it looks and feels right. Like, things aren't off, like you don't have spaces or weird spacing or things like that. And then also mobile optimized. So what you want to do is you want to look at that on your phone and see, oh, does this look good on my phone? Um, and because that most people are doing research with their phone. And then basic SEO, which stands for search engine optimization. And most tools are pretty obvious on how doing, like if you're using a Wix or a GoDaddy or a Duda, a WordPress or anything like that. There are super basic things that you can look up to do basic SEO, and all SEO is going to help you do is get found easier, basically. So if people are typing in your business name, you want your business, when they do a search on Google or any other platform, to be the first thing that pops up. It would be the worst to have a website and then someone type in your business name, ABC agency, and someone else's business pops up. So that's why basic SEO and things like that help. These are all very simple things that you can do, um, and pick up on, but having a website matters. That's number one. Number two is you need a call to action and a capture point on your website. So that means that somewhere on your website, you need to have either, usually there's two things that, well, there's three things that we recommend, but the third one you actually need a tool for. So I'll mention it, but that's, um, it's not something that would come on everyone's website, depending on what builder you're using. Number one is a form that collects information, at least, name, email, phone number, and giving them some kind of reason of why they're putting that information in. Number two is a calendar link. You can use something like Calendly for this. You can use, here's my plugin. Our platform, Leadbase, you can have a calendar. You can put a calendar link. You can also, if from Google or Outlook, you can also use, put in your calendar or use the link there where they can just schedule a time also. So those are things that you do. That's a second thing that you can do with a call to action of either fill out this form or schedule an appointment with you. The third one is that we usually recommend, but like I said, we use our platform Leadbase to be able to do this, is adding chat widget. So that's another easy way for people to engage with you and communicate. But on the call to action side, make sure the offer is a clear offer. Like um, if this is getting into lead magnets and things like that, but as an example, maybe you have like a PDF of a 10 really cool financial ideas. Hey, get this PDF, put in your information, and I'll send you this PDF. Or hey, if you like the information that you saw, want to learn more about how we can help, fill out your information. Super clear offer. Make it short, make it sweet. That kind of goes into the value proposition as well. Of what is the value? Why is it that they are going to fill out this information? And then we just talked about the form, or a landing page or a funnel to get a prospect information. And to take a step back from a definition standpoint, website and funnel, the difference between the two. A website is like you starting off on the path in a forest, and you can take whatever path you want, and it doesn't necessarily lead to any one place. It goes, you have tons of different ways to get to where you want to. Where a funnel is like that same path, but it leads you to a specific end result, like filling out a form or getting an appointment or buying something or things like that. That's the difference between a website and a funnel. Funnel is a next step of you getting to someone leading to an end result, basically. All right, that's takeaway number two. Number three is have basic automations with conversions. So this is the next step, but you can use things like Zapier and connect it to your Google. And you can do that for free, if especially if you're not doing it a huge volume. But what we mean by that is, for example, if someone comes to your website, they fill out a form. What happens next? In most website builders, that form then gets sent to your email with that information, and sometimes it gets lost or sometimes it gets hard to utilize. So you can use something like Zapier or like our platform Leadbase and things like that. And there's a lot of other platforms that do it, that you can um, when someone fills out that form, a thank you message goes out like a minute later saying, hey, thank you so much for filling out the form. Someone from our team is going to get back to you in the next 24 hours, if you're super busy. Ideally, if you can get to that lead within 10 minutes, you have a better chance, a higher statistical probability that you will be able to book an appointment. But that's the idea of automations. Is you can find a tool, like I said, things like Zapier, that would be able to, when someone comes to your website and fills out a form, then you can send out an automated message so that you can get in contact with them very, very quickly. Number four, Google My Business. Technically, it's called, I mean, they switched their name not too long ago. It's Google Business Profile, but either one doesn't matter. This is a free service. So literally, if you just type in Google Business Profile or even Google My Business to Google, it's going to bring you to a site. It's going to explain what the tool is. There's a verification process that you have to go through. Sometimes it's a pain in the butt because you have to do a video. But if you follow the instructions and you get a Google My Business profile, then that is a very easy way to get reviews. And it's also going to help tremendously when people look up your business. Um, they'll Your profile will come up, and they can click on that and then go straight to your website and things like that. That's a big deal as well. So um, complete the profile, get verified, and then get reviews. So the first thing that I would do is go back to your core clients, or even people that know you really well, and say, hey, I'm trying to add some reviews to my my Google Business profile. Would you be able to help me out and give a review of how we did? Very simple to do, but reviews are a big concept, because if you have even just a few reviews on there and they're real reviews, people will see that and be like, oh, there's other people that um, that this person has done well with and helped out. So Google My Business, like I said, it's 100% free. It's not hard to set up, but as long as you get verified the first time, talking to Google is nearly impossible if you don't get approved the first time. But there are ways that you can go about doing it. Google My Business. All right. Number five, is this is just from the digital presence, the branding perspective. You should have at least a LinkedIn and Facebook business page. So not just your personal profile stuff, but I'm talking about an actual business page. So create pages for both platforms, get custom graphics. So you can use something like Canva, make very simple graphics, and try to post one, I mean, maybe 2 times a week, just one time a week at the beginning, like nothing crazy. This could literally take 10 minutes of your time a week. Um, it's the idea that from a look and feel, if people go to those things, they're like, oh, and so I'll give an example. Like when I go and check out different pages and stuff like that, and I see someone that hasn't posted literally for 2 years, I'm like, oh, well, they're not terribly active. Are they really even in business? Like, what are they doing? So that's what I mean. If you post, and I can even go less, every other week, just so that you can start to see some consistency of, oh, they're went to the page and there's information there and there's some posts and things like that. You can also then ask people to connect and build the network, and then you can also use this to nurture and communicate. Remember, the average sale, or rather most sales, the majority of all sales, that's a better way of putting it, is made in the seventh to 10th each. And it doesn't matter what that touch is. It could be an email, it could be a phone number, phone call, it could be a text message, it could be them seeing a social media post, it could be you sending something in the mail, it could be you visiting them. Whatever it is, the vast majority of all sales are made between the seventh and 10th touch. And that's what we mean by use to nurture and communicate is your LinkedIn and your Facebook page that could count as 2 touches if they see that information. Number six, visual consistency across platforms. It amazes me all the time how little people are looking at the stuff that they put up and whether it is congruent and consistent with the other things that they're doing across platforms. So consistent images, not saying that you have to use the same images, but for example, if your colors for your company are black and purple, and then but you start making posts that are white and pink, well, that is not consistent with your brand. So consistent images, consistent posting, and consistent look and feel are super important. That's the feel right stuff. Because if people look at that and be like, something feels off, I don't know what this looks like. Um, then that's one thing that might turn them away if they see that. So consistent images, consistent posting, consistent look and feel, those things are super important within that. Number seven, basic brand book or guideline. Um, Again, this is not something that we are typically taught as an insurance agent. However, what a brand book or guideline looks like is that it has all the things that I'm talking that are down below here. A brand style guide, it has your brand colors, it has your brand font, it has your branded graphics, and it has a good logo. That's what a brand book is. So that way, for example, your colors, you should have, if you have 2 colors, you should have the hex colors, which is the actual code that says this is the exact shade of color that this is. That way that no one's getting confused, or if you work with a marketing company or anything like that, you can say, hey, here are my colors. This is what I want you to use for any of the materials or things that you put together for me. That's super important. That helps with keeping things consistent. There are Like if you were to look up, how to create a basic brand book or guideline, there's some great resources out there, very simple to use, and that's something that will help your business tremendously stay on point and stay consistent. All right, so last takeaways, and we can answer questions. I know I breezed through some of that content. There's a couple of resources that I'll share, but um, that I'm gonna recap real quick, and then if there's any questions, I'll open it up, and we can go from there. But long story short, branding is super, super important. It is going to help you with your lead generation. It is going to help you increase revenue. It's going to help you with your referrals. It's going to help with client retention. It's going to help you not lose the business that you didn't know you lost. We talked about 7 different tips and tricks that you can utilize, such as having a website, having a brand guide, and things like that that are super important on there. And then lastly, this is going back, but we talked about the examples of Sam and Joe and which one you would rather do business with based on their digital presence and their branding. Like I said, there's nothing. This is stuff that we do all the time. We do help agencies build brands and things like that, and we know that very well. But I'm going to open it up. Like I said, I know I breezed through that. But is there any questions that anybody has about branding, just in general, or anything that we went over that you want to take a deeper dive into? Any questions? And just so that everyone knows too, this is like we did record this. I will make sure that Phil um, has the recording so that if you need to send it out or anything like that, or if you want to see it, just let us know and we can go from there. But anybody have any questions on branding in general or anything that we covered? I'll hang out. I guess I went through that information probably really, really quick. Um, so should it be a personal brand? That's a decision. So honestly, from the beginning, especially if you're getting started, you don't have any brand right now. Um, the simple part is I would make it by a personal brand. I would make it something like you can start off with like your last name and uh Joe Bob Agency or whatever it is. Um, but I would recommend not, and I'm sorry, let me take a step back to answer that question. I would ideally make it a company brand, not just a personal brand that's just talking about your name. Building a personal brand is something that you can do later when you're trying to become like a quote unquote celebrity. And celebrity, all I mean by that is not by like you're famous and everyone knows you, but more so that you're using that for different purposes of you're using your name to build your brand. Um, Whereas really what you're trying to do as an independent agent is you want to start building a company brand because then it makes you feel larger than you actually are. Um, Even if you're only a one person band, if you have a company brand and your website portrays that, people get the look and feel that, oh, you're connected, you have a team, you work with you have other people. It's not just you singular by yourself. um, and that's why I would really recommend more so going down like the company branding piece. Let's see, are there any bundle patches that you have towards branding? What applicable pricing? Yeah, so we do a branding package. Usually we do that for a one-time price of $1,000, and that includes uh, a logo, the brand colors, the brand guide, all that stuff. For everyone that works with Valor, we would give a 25% discount, so it'd be $750. The first thing that we would do is we would first do a discovery meeting just to make sure it's a good fit and see what you're looking for and things like that. Um, but if you want to, if that's something that's interesting to anybody, I will put my email on here, and you can shoot me a direct email and ask any questions. Like I said, first thing that we would do is just make sure it's a good fit and ask any questions, discovery stuff. Monica, you said, hey, do you help with content writing also on social media pages? Um, we have a tool. It's called Hey Levi. So people that are on our lead-based platform, that's what I'm sorry. Let me take a step back. There's two different paths that we take with social media. Um, is one is just social media posting, which is honestly we do that a lot. We use a lot of AI tools and things like that. We charge $250 a month for social media posting. There's another level higher that it's $1,500 a month, but that's if you're talking about social media management, where it's they're managing the page, they're commenting, they're liking, they're trying to get other people to comment and like on your page. That's a different category. Social media posting, yeah, will absolutely help with the writing and the content and stuff like that on there, and get the post out so that you have consistent posting on a regular basis. And what that means is we usually do about anywhere between 2 to 3 posts a week for the social posting. But if you're looking to try and like really generate leads and grow your followership and your likes and your engagements and things like that using social media, and really what you're looking for is a social media manager. Um, but yeah, so we do help out with that, and also too just outside of us, because the whole idea is that we're here to share resources that help. Um, Chat GPT is a phenomenal tool. There's a lot of great AI tools as well that can help with the content writing if you're giving it the right prompts. So that's another path that you can do if you are looking for a way to help generate that content. And there's some, like if you typed in how to use AI to generate social media content, there's some great stuff out there that will you can pull from that you can do it yourself as well. But I know as agents, like I said, we're all looking for ways to um, there's either two paths: either we spend our time or we spend our money doing stuff. And so sometimes we need to spend our time at the beginning because we're trying to make more money, which is why I want to give you resources that you can use on your own. But any other questions or anything like that? You're welcome, Monica. Um, any other questions that anybody has? Uh, I know, like I said, the next time that I'm on, I will definitely, it won't be a choice. I'll do it on LinkedIn. Um, I usually do like, Phil and I have been talking. I'm going to try and do like one of these a month with everyone. Yes. Um, the, uh, Meg, I can share this presentation. So in fact, I'm going to give here. I'll have Phil share it in an email. What I'm going to do real quick as well is I'm going to give everyone the Canva presentation right now. All right, so I'm posting this in the chat. If you click on that link, it should open up into the presentation, and you can walk through it, and that's where all the information be. The branding package include a static website. Usually it doesn't, but I'll throw if you do decide to do anything with us, we'll throw that in as long as it's using one of our templated websites. Um, we can probably throw something like that in. But usually we have a another platform for that. You're welcome. Any other questions? Like I said, I know I went through. I think we just had someone else jump on. So for someone that did just I think Aziz, I think you just jumped on. But I just put the link in for the presentation that we just went through. And then this is, of course, recorded as well. So I'll have Phil share the recording. And like I said, that presentation goes through, we talked about branding today and how you can leverage branding to get more business and not lose the business you didn't know you were losing. Yep, I'll share the link again. Oh yeah, because you jumped because you just jumped on, you probably don't see it. There. So I just put it again. That link will open up into the presentation. You can definitely walk through it. But um, like I said, I'm just hanging out now, just seeing if there's any other questions. If there's no other questions that you have, I just won you back 18 more minutes of time. So use it to your best ability. But if there's any questions about branding, like I said, I'm going to hang out just for a couple more minutes to see if anybody has any questions. Um, because we'd love to be able to answer them for everyone. But if I don't hear anything in like the next minute or so, then I'll do a going once, going twice, and then sold, and then we will end this meeting. And then I hope everyone has a great rest of their day and a great Friday and a good weekend as well. But like I said, I'm gonna hang out just for like another minute or so and
Just,
see if anybody else has any other questions.
just one last question, Nathan. Uh,
Yes, Magna.
this is Megan. Yeah. It's after, I mean, you've been watching businesses, you've been doing this for, a lot of people. What has been your experience, in terms of if you have this done? I know there's no sure shot rule, but you've shown us, that of course this is better. Nowadays it's all social media is a very big thing in our lives nowadays. So what would you say has been the turnaround, or I would say the help, or what have you seen success stories? Just if you can share some insights, I think that will just give a better guidance and how soon or how much of this we should pursue and do. Just kind of that insight. It will be helpful.
Absolutely. So Um, on that side, I'll start off by saying, like I said, the kind of things that we're talking about here, especially branding, it's not it's as you know, it's not a direct, I'm going to spend X amount of dollars making my brand, and then I'm going to generate X amount of leads. However, the idea being is that, and I can share a few stories of agencies that we've helped out on that side, and this is what it's done for their business. I will say the greatest impact it has for all the agencies that we worked with over the past while is anybody that has any type of team. Um, that's the most direct aspect of it helping the agency. So if you have one agent, like if it's you and one other agent, even then having a brand helps because now you have the effect of multiplication. So one of the agencies that we work with, they're called Fintopia Financial Partners. They have um, the time that we started working with them, they had 4 agents on their platform, um, and from it took us about a month, a little over a month to build their brand because there's usually about a back and forth. They already had like a logo and things like that, but they didn't like what they did. Like literally, one of his buddies built the logo for him and the colors that they were using. And after we got done with the brand, they were able to leverage that. And like I said, it's not as much of a direct result, but they were able to bring on 3 more agents afterwards. They had gotten responses because they also participate in a networking group that has a lawyer and has a CPA and has a property and casualty agent as well that they were getting referrals from, and they had gotten multiple comments from that network being like, "Oh, this is a much better brand. Like this, I like what you did with the colors. I like your new website, things like that." And they already had a website, but it's the look and feel of it that changed. That was more matched with what they were doing. So that's kind of the things that I'm talking about of um, things being cohesive and there's, I mean, there's other stories as well that go along in that, but that's really why as soon as you start to have more of a team, if you're at the beginnings, honestly, spending that amount of dollars, like go out to friends and family, make some sales first, like get things under your belt. This is not branding is not something that I would recommend for a brand new like green agent off the bat. This is someone that at least probably has like a year of experience. That's knows they're going to be in the field for a little while and understands that they want to build their own brand, or someone that's been around for a little bit that has a brand that hasn't been punched up for a while, they haven't done much with. That's really where this affects the most on that end. And like I said, anybody that has any sort of team, because then what you have around is that people then take that information and are using the colors and the brand guides and the brand book and things like that. That then, if anybody on the team shares stuff, they're sharing the same type of information and the consistency that the brand itself has and the website has and the social media.
Yep, I think
Um,
yeah, that this is helpful because this is exactly what, I was looking for. I have a team and obviously I don't expect all the agents to be spending their time or money on it. But if I can do something, in that space, I think just so that it spruces up everybody's business, why not? So that is something I was actually looking to. So we'll talk more. I think that was exactly what, I wanted to know if that's something you have seen and if that has been helpful. And as for your story, I think that's pretty much what I was, kind of looking for. So thank you.
you're very welcome, Magna. Glad that could help. And yeah, anything that we can do, like the reason that we do all of this is especially with our partnership with Valor and things like that, is because we want agents to get the right tools in their hand that's not going to break their bank, and also with people that understand the industry. Like I've been in the industry, I still have my insurance license. I haven't sold a policy for more than 5 years at this point. But um, we are very much we want agents to succeed, and these are the things that we think that most agents aren't getting hold of and talking about, because usually if you talk to a marketing agency that's not in the insurance space, like it's a lot of money to get a brand going. Anyways, I warned everyone I was gonna get my soapbox a couple times with that stuff, but that's why we're passionate about this, and anything we can do to help your agency grow and build more, we would love to be able to do. But if there's no other questions, I will, like I said, I'll do my going once, going twice, and sold, and then we'll end the meeting. But really appreciate thank you for the engagement at the end. I love when people ask questions. That's why I'm jumping on like at least once a month just to talk about the marketing side, so that you get a little bit different flavor than our awesome monotone magic Phil over there, and talking about lame stuff like products and carriers and sales and things like that. I mean, marketing's much more exciting. But with that said, I will do it. Let's see. I don't see any other questions. So, any questions going once? Any other questions going twice? Any last questions? Sold. No more questions. I'm going to end the recording. I'm going to end the meeting. Everyone have a great rest of their day and a great weekend. And I'll look forward to seeing you on. I'll be on again sometime next month, and we'll go from there.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Bye bye, everyone.